Hey guys, this is Chris, but my friends call me Stones. Thanks for checking out my channel, and thanks for checking out my latest video. In today's video, I want to show off everything that I brought home from the latest recycling event. I still have no footage from that event. I promised that I was going to start using my GoPro, but I still just have not had the time to get around to setting it up and figuring it out and doing all that. So I'm just going to show you the aftermath of everything that I brought home for free. If you haven't watched my previous videos, one of the best ways that I source things to sell on eBay for a profit for a full-time living is I help out a buddy of mine with his electronic recycling events. And what it is my friend from my gym, he owns a local electronics recycling company. So instead of recycling paper and plastic and glass, like a lot of normal recycling companies, his company recycles electronics. So anything that takes batteries or takes a power cord, he will accept it and he will recycle it for free. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can drop off stuff at his office, at his warehouse, at his place of business. You can drop off things at his bins that are placed in different towns and cities, college campuses all over the place. And then the other way is these recycling events that he holds throughout late spring to late fall is when he holds these events. And what they are is he goes in cooperation with a city, a township, a business, an organization, a special event, and he'll come in and he'll set up in a parking lot kind of a drive-through for people to drop off their electronics. He lines the parking lot with gaylords and pallets, and people can drive right up and drop off their electronics to be recycled. And he holds these on Saturdays normally for 4 hours, typically 10 to 2, sometimes 9 to 3. And I helped him out with these. I do not get paid. I am not his employee. I'm not on payroll. I'm not committed to these. I'm not obligated to be there, but I like going because I end up bringing home about anywhere from $500 to $1,500 worth of stuff to resell on eBay, and it's a great way of getting some awesome items to resell on eBay. So if you think about it, if it's a 4-hour event, let's say it takes me a half hour to get there, a half hour for me to drive home, and let's say I get there a half hour early and I stay a half hour late, I've got a total of 6 hours invested into one of these events. And even if I only bring home $500 worth of stuff, I am practically bringing home or making about $80 an hour. Now, $500 is on the low end. Most of the time I'm bringing home at least $1,000, if not $1,500. The last one that I did, I brought home over $1,500 worth of stuff. So it's well worth it to me. And but this one was a little bit different this time. It was a little bit more difficult for me to find things because we actually had 2 events going on in 2 different towns, so he kind of had to split the crew, which caused me to be a little bit more busier than normal, and I didn't have the breaks to go and look through the pallets and through the bins as often as I wanted to and find everything as it was being dropped off. But I still found a lot of great stuff. I have no complaints. I'm very happy. And actually, one of the things is right here. We're looking at it right now. I talk about these all the time in my recycling videos. Osborne to Thrift, he's the one that taught me about this, but it's the printer head out of these HP OfficeJet Pro series printers. Normally the 800 series, the 600 series actually don't have these, but the 800 series, and there's some other series as well. What ended up happening on this one is, because I was so busy, I didn't have time to pull it out. So I'm going to show you that right now. I brought the whole printer home, and I'm going to show you how this printer head, if you go in here, and there's a little lever back in there, a little white lever, and you just pull it, and that allows you to pull out this printer head. And there you go. That's $100 right there. They're normally under a pound, so they cost about $6 to ship, and I charge $99.54 free shipping on those. And I sold, I think, 2 this week. But then I'm going to take this back to the next recycling event, which happens to be this Saturday, and I'm going to get rid of this printer. But I just wanted to show you that. That's one of the things that I grab all the time. $100 easy right there. Some of the other things that I picked up, as you can see, this is a CPAP machine. I'm not going to really pull it out. I think it's zipped up and stuff. CPAP machines, I've mentioned it before, you cannot sell them on eBay. eBay will take down your listing. You will get zeroed on them. But for these CPAPs, there is another site called secondwind.com. And Second Wind might buy them from you, may not. I'm on strike 2 right now. 2 of the CPAPs that I tried submitting were not accepted by secondwind.com, but this was a totally different one I've never seen before, so hopefully they'll take this one. But if they do take them, I heard they pay some pretty good money for them. This is a Sony Trinitron TV. I don't know why I took this. Other guys told me I should take it. It's worth about $100. Trinitron is one of these CRT TV brands that you really want to look out for if that's something that interests you. They're great TVs for gaming. That's why they're so highly sought after. We actually had a brand new 32-inch Trinitron Sony TV that was dropped off, brand new, still in the box, at the last recycling event. And of course, my buddy is the one that took that. He specializes in TVs anyways, and he got $1,000 for that within a couple of hours of listing it on eBay. He got $1,000 for it. Got a Xbox 360. I have so many of these. Now this is 120 gig. I got it for free, so I'm not going to turn it down. But these don't sell like they used to for me. It's probably the worst selling game console for me right now. But again, it's free. It's 120 gig, which I think is the biggest one you can get. What I'm going to start doing, and I've done it already for a couple of Wii consoles, is take them over to our local game store called The Exchange and trade them in for store credit. Then I'll use that store credit to buy other things that I can sell quicker. So I might start doing that with the Xbox 360s. And then here, what seems to be another Xbox 360, but when you open up, it was a PlayStation 2, which I definitely love. I saw these very quickly. They don't last long for me. This has the extra, like, memory attachment or something. I don't know exactly what that's called, but I've never had one with that before. The controller that came with it is pretty roached. I'm probably not going to trust that. But then there was an Xbox 360 controller in here as well. Kind of beat up, but again, it's free. The power cable's in here. There's a memory card in here as well. And then I found a dongle for PlayStation 2 guitar. That's worth about $20 right there. There might be some other things hidden down there, but I don't know. Some other gaming stuff. I actually came away with more gaming stuff this time than I did last time. Xbox 360 Connect, again, free. Don't really need it. I have quite a few. Here's a better looking PlayStation 2 controller. I'll probably put that one with this PlayStation. Or I might put it with the Slim, because I also got a PlayStation 2 Slim. Here's a PlayStation 3 controller. Those are wireless. So I need this actually for a PlayStation 3 that I got at the last recycling event that I still needed a controller for. And these are expensive if you try to buy them. Some sort of Xbox 360 cable for something. And then this Sony thing, I thought this looked, I got really excited when this was dropped off. This looked exactly like something I bought at a yard sale that was also Sony. I think last year, maybe 2 years ago, it ended up selling for like $200, $250. This is not the exact same device, but this thing still is worth $50 anyways. And again, free. Big Box Inc., sometimes we see it, and Big Box Inc. normally does really well. These actually don't sell that well. This 15A HP Genuine Printer ink cartridges, these sell for maybe $20 a piece. I'm probably going to lot them up. I almost left them there, but it's almost not worth it, you know. So again, but free. This is a brand new wireless bridge access ports. I don't know exactly what this is, but it was brand new, factory sealed. This actually sells for $60. That was actually a good find as well. Here's an old vintage boombox cassette player, AM FM radio by Sanyo. This can sell for $50, $75. I grabbed that up. If it works, it looks pretty clean. The antenna's still intact. That's the important thing. The battery compartment has no corrosion. That's also important. If this works, $50 to $75. Film cameras, don't pass those up either. As soon as I find them, yard sales, thrift stores, estate sales, whatever, as soon as I list them, they seem to always sell. This Nikon sells for about 60 bucks. I was really surprised. And it was funny, I gave a lesson to some of the kids that were volunteering and helping us out. They thought, they think they got cameras on their cell phone. Why would somebody want something like this? And they were surprised when I told them it was worth about 60 bucks. This is the first thing that I grabbed. This is just a Sony digital Walkman, but it's just a radio. It's not a cassette player. It's not a CD player. And this thing's worth about $30, $40, if you can believe that. Picked up a couple of more iPods. I was just thinking about this just recently, and listen to me when I say this. I think since they discontinued iPods, I think in about 10 years, iPods are going to be collected. Like vinyl, like VHS. I've always had this saying, I have always said that ignorance causes rarity, and rarity causes collectability, and collectability causes value. So basically, ignorance causes value. And if you think like action figures back in the day, in the 70s and stuff, like the old Star Wars ones, the reason why those are rare is because people were treating them like toys. They weren't treating them like collectibles. So they're very rare now and very valuable. I think everybody was treating an iPod like an iPod. It was just a way of listening to music. You bought the next one once it came out, the next generation, the next version, and then everybody switched over to their iTunes and their phones, and they quit using these. And I think in about 10 years, these are going to be start becoming really collectible. It may take a little longer than that, but at least 10 years. And then people drop off some of the weirdest stuff, even though it's not electronics. These are all Fergie CDs, and it looks like a promotional CD that Avon put out for her line of perfume or something like that. I tried looking these up on eBay, and I cannot find any. So if there's any Fergie fans out there, this might be a collectible that might interest them. But again, free. Even if I sell them for 10 bucks free shipping, it's one listing, and I've got at least, I don't know, 8 there or something like that. So that's what everything I got at this recycling event. I didn't do the math, but at least $500, if not more. Depends on the CPAP, if they're going to buy that from me, that type of thing. And I actually stopped at some yard sales on my way home from the recycling event. I normally don't because I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm hungry, and I kind of feel like I've got enough stuff. I don't need to be paying for stuff if I got a bunch of stuff for free. But we're whittling down. It's I can hear the wind blowing right now. It's actually a nice day. It had been threatening with rain earlier in the weekend, but things are slowing down, and there's not going to be as many opportunities for me to get things at yard sales and garage sales, and it's going to come to a complete stop here. And so I got to take every opportunity that I can. So I stopped at some yard sales. I picked this up for $5. This is kind of like an electric fence, and this sells for about 40 bucks. And then I went to this other yard sale, and they were packing things up because they were afraid it was going to rain, and they wanted to get everything packed up before it did start raining and everything got wet. I paid $1 for this Power Rangers action figure. I thought it was a Shogun figure from the back at first, but it's not really worth anything, but I only paid $1. I might just donate it to Goodwill or something because I just don't need that. The problem of shipping this, whatever, for what it's worth. But then here I paid 50 cents a piece for all these things, so I paid $3 total. This keychain from Macaroni is not worth much. This controller, this Nintendo controller, very clean Nintendo controller. I actually have a Nintendo listed right now on eBay, but the controllers are kind of frayed and a mess, and I'm afraid, so I want to switch them out, swap them out, and hopefully that will help the Nintendo get sold faster. Rey Mysterio, I think that is action figure. I pick up action figures whenever I can. But here's the hit of the day, at least for that yard sale. For 50 cents, this Lego Hero Factory Brain Attack. This thing right now on eBay is going for, there's 4 listings in new condition. There's 2 that are in auction. One of the auctions has gotten up to, last I checked, up to $35 plus shipping. Another one is already up to $50 plus shipping. There are 2 buy it now, 2 that are not in auction. One wants $60 plus shipping. The other one wants $70 plus shipping. So I don't know why those two are in auction. Never auction things like this. When you can figure out what it's worth, never auction it. I'm probably going to list this for about $60, $65 free shipping, and I only paid 50 cents for that. And that's a lesson for me. Normally, I kind of feel like, you know, yard sales that late in the day, I normally don't, I stop going to yard sales by 1 o'clock because I kind of feel like, you know, everything's been bought now, everything's been picked through. There's no way something's still going to be there by 3 o'clock. But again, I kind of felt like I had to stop at these yard sales if there were ones there that I hadn't had the opportunity to go to earlier. And, you know, hopefully that there was something for me to buy. And sure enough, for 50 cents, I got a $60 bag of Legos. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching, and hit that like button, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will talk to you.